All right, let's start with a really big idea. What if love isn't just something you feel, but something you actually do? What if it's a force, kind of like physics, that literally helps build our conscience and guides how we behave? We're about to dive into a really powerful new way of looking at human motivation. So, this is the big question right here. We're going to unpack a theory that totally reframes love. It's not some passive emotion that just happens to you. No, it's an intentional force that can genuinely reshape our world. And it all starts with us. And the person behind this incredible idea is Dr. Michael D. Lukens. He's a clinical psychologist and an emotions theorist who's really well known for his work on trauma, addiction, and relationship repair. So, he's seen it all. And this framework we're exploring today, it's all detailed in his multi-volume book. He calls this theory the physics of emotioning. Now, I know that sounds pretty heavy, right? But the core idea is actually pretty straightforward. It's about seeing our actions, not as just random impulses, but as the result of these deep, underlying motivational forces. And in this whole system, love isn't just a force. It might just be the most important one there is. So how in the world does this framework actually define love? Well, it uses a very specific and very action-oriented definition that kind of changes everything. Dr. Lukens defines pure love as committed benevolent interest, or CBI for short. And you've got to forget what you think you know about love for a second. This isn't about romance, it's not about affection, it's an intentional choice. It's an active direction you point yourself in, towards wanting and actually working for the well-being of other people. It's really a stance you take toward the entire world. And the real power of this idea comes from its three pillars. So, committed. That means it's a steady, unwavering dedication. Benevolent, that means it comes from a truly genuine desire for good. An interest, that means it's an active, engaged concern. The biggest thing to get here is that love, in this model, is a practice. It's a skill you can actually build.
Okay, so love is an active commitment. Got it. But how does that connect to our sense of right and wrong? Well, this is where the theory gets super practical and, honestly, pretty profound.
According to Dr. Lukens, when we consistently practice CBI, we are directly forging our own conscience. I mean, think about it. Every single time we choose to act with that benevolent interest, we're building our moral framework. We are strengthening our own internal compass with every single intentional action we take.
And this quote, wow, it just brilliantly shows how deep this whole concept goes. This isn't about just being nice to your friends. It's an orientation that extends even to an enemy. You're not betting on them to win, you're betting for them, for their well-being, hoping they come to their senses. Now that is a seriously profound level of committed benevolence.
And when this way of being starts to become second nature, it leads to what Dr. Lukens' framework calls the realization of our higher self. This is the ultimate expression of living a life that's truly guided by CBI.
This leads to a really key shift in our mindset. You see, a lot of us operate on what you could call credit-seeking behavior. We do good things, but we're attached to the outcome, or we need someone to notice. The goal is to move to being a contribution-based being, where the fulfillment comes purely from the act of contributing itself. The question changes from, so, what do I get out of this, to simply, what can I give?
And the daily mantra for this higher self becomes incredibly simple and easy to grasp. It's kind of like the Hippocratic Oath. First off, do no harm. And beyond that, just carry this general vibe of trying to leave any space, whether that's a social space, a physical one, an emotional one, just a little bit better than you found it.
This quote just perfectly captures that internal motivation. It's not a chore, it's not something on your to-do list. It becomes this intrinsic drive, a fundamental desire for goodness to just flow from your very existence out into the world.
So, what does this actually look like day to day? Because it's not always about some grand heroic act. In fact, most of the time, it's way, way simpler than that.
It can be as simple as just maintaining what Dr. Lukens calls a loving vibe. It's genuinely wanting good things for the planet, for other people, for all the creatures on it. It's looking for goodness to come to others. And eventually, it stops being a series of tasks you do, and it just becomes a reflection of who you are.
Okay, so let's bring all of this home. What's the single most important thing to take away from this incredible framework on love and motivation?
The core idea, the big shift, is this. Dr. Lukens is really urging us to see love not as some fleeting feeling that happens to us, but as an active, daily commitment. It is a conscious choice to contribute benevolent good into the world.
And the result of this practice, it's truly transformative. By consistently choosing committed benevolent interest, we are actively shaping our own conscience. And in that process, we're stepping into the most authentic, contribution-based version of ourselves, our higher self.
So, I'll leave you with this question. This isn't about changing the world overnight. It's about one small intentional act. What is one tiny contribution you could make today? To a person? To a place? Maybe even to an idea? Purely for the sake of doing it, with absolutely no thought of getting anything back.